baby. What up, Fig?
What up, T?
Everything good on this side, brother. Welcome to Box Seats. Got the big homie Big X in the building.
Yes, sir.
I got to have you on one of my lives one day called Race Debaters. I think you'd be good on that show because you know your stuff, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Box Seats. After a stupendous weekend of NBA playoff basketball.
Man, yes, it was.
Man, let me tell you something. I don't care who you was going for. I don't care how much money, whatever you put up on who. As a fan of the game, you have to be like just like elevated. Like your spirit got to be high, like on some basketball high. Like they giving us some good playoff games. Am I right?
Yes, sir, man. I took my L.
Yeah. First of all, has anybody spotted Dave? We haven't seen Dave, the business bully, in a couple of weeks. It seems like it's only a couple of days, but it's a couple of games, and it feel like a few weeks. Like
witness protection. He
ain't faced no music yet. Ladies and gentlemen, it's comedian Fig. Hey, Fig, tell me about your weekend real quick, brother, before we roll in.
Man, it was amazing, man. My little cousin graduated from college with her master's, man. We went out Saturday night. We celebrated that.
That's nice.
Came home and we realized how old we were because we had to rest all day yesterday.
I say that every time.
Like you used to.
But I say that every time, man. But I feel like mind over matter, and we gotta like fight. Even though we're not as young as we used to be, we gotta fight and remind ourselves. You know, we ain't promised tomorrow, so that don't mean put your ass out the pasture either. Like get up and
no, not that deep, man. Not that deep. But listen, man, we was tired. We did a little bit of stuff yesterday, but for the most part, my wife laid up in the bed, man. She was like, "Listen, I'm tired." And then she, you know, with women it's a little different because they wear heels.
Because it like it's really
like, oh no.
Well, hold on. Is it tired or are you hurt?
Yeah. Oh, listen. She was injured.
That's okay. Let's be fair. Let's be, they wear heels. They've got much more pressure than us on them shoes. And a lot of that be foot aches. Not necessarily fatigue per se, but you just be like, I'm ready to get out of these shoes. Yeah. I didn't factor in my little toe.
Yeah. And that little toe is the smallest piece, but it causes a whole lot of pain when somebody lean on that sucker.
Bruh, say less. Joining the show, another famous friend of the show, one of our what we call subordinates, one of our on location co-hosts, Amir Silly. What up, A-Rock?
What's going on? How's everything, man? How you gentlemen doing today?
Yo, how was your weekend, bro? That's the better question.
The weekend was really, really good, man. Obviously, for those who have been paying attention all week, we celebrated Sharonda all week and closed the week with a bang with another celebration in her honor. So it was a really, really good weekend. Feeling good today. Weather's a little hinky here, but hey, we're going to do what we're going to do.
Hey, speaking of our girl Sharonda, rest in peace, rest in paradise. Queen Sharonda, who's one of our behind-the-scenes producer of the Box Seats as of recent, just passed away a week ago today. The services will be Friday in Jersey City. I'll get you guys all that information. Also, everybody on the Box Seats is invited to join us 6 o'clock on our Motivation Monday show. It's all about Sharonda. It's all about paying homage, everybody telling their stories. And we got like a nice couple of things put together production-wise, to do it the right way, because this is her week, you know what I mean, where we make those detailed memorial information out to the people. Everybody who can make it, we understand it's a Friday and everybody ain't going to be able to make it. We know you're there in spirit, but we're going to get that done quickly and sooner than later. All right, let's dive right in. Let's get a little football news, sports news out of the way, because I know once we get to that NBA, man, the feeling's going to fly. So before we get to that, let's go with, first of all, did you see Drew Brees is in the news?
Yeah.
No.
So your boy Drew Brees is out there playing around with his little Twitter account or something, and he's posted little things. And basically, to sum it up, he's thinking about returning to the game. Now, funny that's part one. But part two is even funnier because over there at the Saints, he's like, he ain't coming here. So big. Big, when you hear this, is a possibility. It's not so far fetched given Brady just did it. So it's a reality that we're living in. But is it a reality that you're interested in, Fig, or should you say like Drew Brees, chill out, man, be good?
Well, the first thing I thought was funny is Drew Brees is an undersized quarterback. You say he was on his little Twitter account and doing his little thing. That was hilarious. I pump the brakes on Drew Brees, man, trying to say like he did it like Tom Brady, because, Tom Brady pretty much in the class by himself, man. 7-time Super Bowl winner, you know what I mean, with the Patriots. Now, down there in Florida doing the damn thing, man. Drew Brees is not Tom Brady. Tom Brady can come back and they like, yeah, Tom, come on, man, you come in. Drew Brees is just like, hey, you can't come here. It's just like when you move out of your mama's house, you say, you can't come back here.
But here's the thing, A-Rod, Amir, this is what kills me. Is it a situation where maybe he wasn't really ready to retire? Sometimes people get out of the light for a reason. Now, if you pay attention, right before he retired last time, he had that little scrutiny on his back. They were starting to come at him on some racist stuff. Remember, he tried to, downplay it and do the right press. Oh, I apologize to my team. But we know how society is now. We know this is this gang out there called cancel culture. They over the Bloods, the Crips. They the new gang called cancel culture. And was this a situation where I'm not really ready to retire, but if I leave the game, I'm less news, give it a season or two or whatever. And if I feel the same way, come back. What do you think of me?
You know what? That's actually probably a pretty good synopsis as to why he might have, like you said, stepped away from the game, as it's supposedly said. He, appeared to be, and to heal up a little bit. Drew Brees has a lot of mileage on that body. He's been in the league for quite some time. He has several records in terms of his total output and what he's been able to mean to the league. So that probably was a good idea for him to step away for a little bit, kind of let this thing die down. Hopefully, see if the temperature of the water is okay for him to come back, and make that attempt. My only reservation, and this goes for both him and for Tom Brady, regardless to how many this is still a young man's game, as most sports are, and Father Time has a way of catching up to everybody. I really am saddened sometimes when artists, as great as they are, don't go out when you're on top. Just go out when you're on top. It's okay. Just ride off into the sunset. I don't know if you want to become a commentator or don't become a commentator, and just be in and around the sport. But to hang around sometimes, there's that one kid who looked up to you, and he can't wait to ring your bell. Then he can put his name up on Mount Rushmore. I got my shot. So be leery of that.
But here's the thing: what makes it kind of your point kind of valid when you say like, the Father Time and the clock is ticking. When you're an accomplished quarterback, now alive right now, he's top 10 alive, right now, and your former team go, you ain't coming back here.
That's a clear-cut indication. Hey, we appreciate the work, your body of work, sir. We're trying to move on to greener pastures and other things now. We're gonna need you to just chill out.
He's like that. He's like that husband that got that separation, but that legal separation. But he got hope alive to go back. But this is just her stepping stone. Get the hell out of here. She finally get breaking free, and something happened where he's staying, and he come back and want to stay at the house. She said, "Oh, my house caught on fire, so I figured I'd come back." Say, I'm so sorry. The whole house burned. That's crazy. You trying to stay here?
That's terrible, man. The kind of funny thing is, I found out that Drew Brees' commentating career wasn't working out like it was supposed to. Like it wasn't that great.
Right.
The funny thing about quarterbacks or athletes, they retire very young. You understand what I'm saying? So what do? It's not like you worked until you were 65 and then you
Right.
retired after all those years. Man, these guys are in their 30s, they late 30s, early 40s. By the time they retire, they like, yo, I still got a lot of life left. Like, what do I do? And
Yeah.
maybe, just maybe, that's why Tom Brady got his contract for 10 years. He said, whether I'm good or not, y'all gonna pay me for 10 years after I retire football.
Well, Tom is worse. Tom signed a whole other contract with TV network. Like, he ain't even lead a game yet. So Tom basically sent a message to his kids like, I don't want to be around you. So Tom did it the best. Who did it the best? Tom did it the best. But on
Yeah.
a good note for the New Orleans Saints, they've been signing a lot of contracts. They're doing their moves. Wide receiver Jarvis Landry just signed with them. Terms undisclosed. See, this way it gets shady at. This is the third time I read they signed somebody this past week or two. Everything undisclosed. What's going on in these contracts? Like, what you got to hide in there? Huh? You got the Sean Watson clause? No, I'm just playing. Anyway, moving on. NFL. Speaking of that, this is actual breaking news this morning. Deshaun Watson is meeting with the NFL.
Oh,
over
okay.
this situation. So we don't know where that's going. That meeting has to deal with, is he going to be suspended a certain amount of games? Are they going to just wipe it clean because no criminal charges? Or are we going to go off of the civil cases and say, you know what, smack on the wrist, 5 games, 6 games, 7 games? Amir, when you hear about this, Deshaun Watson, breaking news today, not even an hour ago, is meeting with the NFL regarding his case. What pops in your mind? What are you anticipating to come from this?
I'm anticipating hopefully they can finally come to some resolution, first and foremost. Then secondly, I think, they really want to get this thing behind them because it's been for such a long time. It doesn't make his former team look good. Obviously, they need him to focus and concentrate on his new situation. I think, if I'm not mistaken, last week you guys reported that the defense has shored up some players to make their defense even stronger. So I think what they're trying to do is just move forward. And I hope that going forward, they can finally put this thing to rest. Deshaun Watson, if you didn't learn anything else, you need a girlfriend in your life or something like that. But get your life together, young man. You can't be out here in these streets. You see
Wow,
what
disrespectful.
happens when you're in these streets. So
That's wild
I hope
disrespectful. Fig, please don't be as disrespectful as this man. What you think, Fig? Talk to
Listen. Some men look to get married and some don't. Deshaun Watson is a very young man, athletic, very successful. If he wants to entertain several women, that's his business. I don't think, look, to me, some people say where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't believe he really did anything. I think that this was like some kind of plot to get on him after he told the Houston Texans that I won out. Now all of a sudden all this stuff came out. It just didn't smell right to me. I know how America, how rich people get down and stuff like that. It's just like, yo, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna prove you, I'm gonna teach you a lesson, and I'm gonna make you an example of what not to do. He's moving on with the NFL. I hate organizations trying to be the criminal justice system. If he went to court and they found nothing, leave the man alone. You did your job. If he was convicted of something, then I see the NFL stepping in doing whatever. But if you ain't convicted of nothing, leave the man alone. That ain't none of your business. You didn't go to school for law. You're not an attorney. You're not a judge. Leave the man alone. Let him go to work. He did what he's supposed to do. He went through the system.
Right. I totally agree. This is the stuff we got to deal with. I think personally, on my end of thought, is that the thing is over. I think this is a optic protocol that must be done. You know what I mean? Like, you must do that. That the optics have to look right. So if I'm the NFL, I have to look like I care about this enough. I'm calling a big meeting. We're putting the hammer down, so to speak. We were doing our due diligence. We went up and down this case, wall to wall. So when I say that speech, if I'm Goodell, it's on record that I did my part. We did our part, so we can move forward. I think everybody wants to move forward. But I think to move forward, it's a way it got to be done. We know how this is. We live in America. Everything in America is one or two things, and sometimes both at the same time. you know it's going to come down to financial. This is the capitalism capital of the world. And we also know politics going to play their part. Two things you can't maneuver through America without the two things coming into play. Financial part of it and the political part of it. The political part is the optics right now. Financially, they're going to still deal with that. And so is he, personally, probably. But right now, I think this is a big shenanigan for the optics of the NFL to look like, further look like they care about women. And they're not gonna, you're probably gonna hear the word tolerate a couple of times. Right? That's that podium talk. We're not gonna tolerate this in the league.
Yo, I just looked it up, man. Deshaun Watson is 26. Do you know, listen, I'm talking to you two guys. I know what I was doing at 26. What the hell were we doing at 26 years old with the money that we had? Now add millions of dollars to that. What the hell would we be doing with millions of dollars at 26 years old?
Well, I'll tell you this, Vic. I just had a massage over the weekend.
Are you going to call her back?
I'm almost 56. Let me tell you something. Ask me if this massage felt better than 26. I remember having a massage at 26, 36, 46, and now I'm almost 56. They all in the same. They're all beautiful. I can move around. My joints loosened up and everything. All right, so let's move on. That's a little bit. Just want to hit a few of the stories happening in the NFL, but because the main talk today, we know we're going to be agreeing, disagreeing, arguing, babbling over these playoffs. First of all, hats off to these playoffs.
Yes.
Because let me tell you as a fanatic, as a fan, there's no better feeling. Now, and it don't even matter if your team win or lose, but there's no better feeling as a fan than when you set your clock and rush to go see a game and you get your money worth, so to speak. Like, I woke up after a damn long-ass party night, birthday, da-da-da, and I told my dude, we're going to come out of your house, we're going to watch the game. So now you wake up, you dragging. It's 12. But they're going to Waffle House. You're like, slowly but surely, my brain's like, man, you ain't making nobody's house, right? But I get that, cup of coffee, everybody's on deck, they calling. I'm like, you know what? We said it, let's go do it. So we drive about 20 minutes outside of Clearwater because my man, you got the little mini mansion, little show off, So we go way out there, and we get to the crib. I mean, right when the game kicking the tip off, right? So I'm showing. I got a new guy with me, my man Rich. I'm showing him the mansion. I'm giving him like my own mini tour because I was there. He was like, "Oh, it's crazy." I said, "Wait till you see the man cave. We're gonna watch the game. Go to the man cave. It's like being in It's like being in Joe's pub with screens everywhere, right?" So we're watching the game, and I really appreciate, even though, if you ask me, I had Milwaukee win, and they did not win, but it didn't matter because I got to sit through a good ass game where people were fighting their hearts out. That's what I'm talking about. Did you see the difference? And first of all, you see the difference in the game with Milwaukee and Boston, where even though they're up like 16 and 18 and 14, the urgency was still there. Like, we can come back, we can win. And that's that gladiator stuff. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing better when a fan sets his watch to watch a game and he gets his money worth. Fig, how'd you feel about that game? They're both game sevens yesterday.
Yo, when you listen, this is what the NBA is all about. Game 7. If you get to that point, you've already arrived, man. The first game was absolutely amazing, man. The Celtics and the Bucks, Game 7. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I can't think of the other kid's name. Williams.
Smart. Yeah, all of them.
These kids, they was hitting 3-pointers like they was the Golden State Warriors. And I was looking at Giannis, I was looking at Drew Holiday and the boys, and I was like, they couldn't hit the broad side of the barn from 3. Giannis was missing layups, finger rolls. I was like, it's over. I was like, this is done.
That's right.
And I did, one thing about it, kudos to the Celtics. They did their damn thing. I bet my man Stacks. We bet $50 a game. Thank God that that Milwaukee was able to win 3. So I only had to pay $50 yesterday. You understand what I'm saying? But I gave him his props. I was like, yeah, man, the Celtics did the damn thing. I didn't think that they would be able to beat Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks really needed Middleton, and I did not like the strategy of Coach Budenholzer, man. Budenholzer packed it in the paint and said, let these guys beat us from three. When you have a team like
that was a bad call. That was a bad call.
Bad. The Celtics,
they wouldn't close out on the three. Open three every time.
They're shooting like a 40% clip. 40% from three. Threes beat twos. You're not going to beat the team and letting them shoot three and open threes. Like most of the threes they took.
That's what I'm saying.
Open shots. I'm like, you're not going to beat that team. Kudos to the Celtics. I didn't like the strategy on Milwaukee.
I agree with you. Kudos to the Celtics. And I agree with you. The coaching was horrible because after the middle of the second quarter, when you see that you are not closing out on that open three, they got an open guy every single time, right? And you're not closing out 1, 2, 3, 4 threes, 5 threes. Like, dude, at some point, you got to call time. Okay, what we trying ain't working. That open three got to go. We can't be leaving that open three. And they just left it open. When I say the whole game, Amir, they left that damn three open the whole game. Rodney Perry just chimed in. He owes money. We're going to get to him in 1 second. He owes money. Cash App called me and said that it didn't go through. We're going to find out what's that about. But Amir, how you feel about the game?
You know what's so crazy? What I didn't understand for the Milwaukee Bucks, to Fig's point about terrible coaching, and this goes to the players. Look, Giannis, I didn't understand why y'all didn't just go man to man and just be like, look, everybody stick your man. That's it. We're not going to switch. We just going man to man. If they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us driving to the basket and things like that. Because to the game, if you watched it, not only were they knocking down threes at an alarming rate, but the demoralizing effect of it. So I'm looking at these guys like, win at something. Jesus, come on. Like, y'all not even going to try?
Yeah.
Win something.
Yeah.
At the very least, we're going to go man to man, and everybody's job is to stick with your man. That's it. If they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us by wearing us out or us wearing them out. But we're not going to just give up threes. I was looking like, what the?
Amir, what you say? Win at something.
Yes, at something. Anything.
Listen, you got a great point right there. Win is something. Even if you got to be the best cash app, right? If you could be the best cash app to pay your debts when you lose. And in the feed, we have people that's watching the show. We have a feed with all of us in it, and we keep abreast on a lot of things going on. And it came up that Rodney owed some money, right? And and Rodney's reply was, "Yeah, take your funky 20. If it's so funky, why they ain't got it?" Right, Rodney Perry. If it's funky, you should be one. You should be one to part ways with that money. You don't want to stick it up your wallet.
Tell it. Rodney like crime. He don't pay.
Mr. Perry, welcome, sir.
Y'all finished?
Yeah, I'm done. That's all I got.
Hey, man. I want to come on here on the air. Heard you say congratulations to the Boston Celtics. They put a win together. They played a stellar defense. This guy Grant Williams, whoever the hell he is, I had to see this man's face before yesterday. He scored 50 points by his damn self.
Yeah,
so, you know, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. It was a great game. Giannis. Nobody talked to me about Giannis being great no more.
No.
You shut your pie hole, Fig. I can't believe this. Don't talk to me about Giannis being great. Don't talk to me about oh boy, the light-skinned young man out there in Phoenix being great.
The light-skinned man.
It's not your turn, Fig. Don't talk to me about Embiid being great. Because when pressed up against the wall and as hard as y'all come down on LeBron, ain't nobody saying nothing about them. Ain't nobody saying nothing. I pay my money. I pay my little $20. Matter of fact, I got the 20 from Mike Sean.
You're a sucker.
I'm giving Frank Holder Mike Sean's 20.
Yo.
I've been saving it in my wallet for this very occasion. And I'm not sending the cash out, I'm mailing it. I need the address. I'm putting it in the postal service. I'm mailing it, and I'm mailing it the slowest possible way. I'm gonna see if I can get it to take in 1 year. How much? If I pay one.
Hey man, you just said something beautiful. You just said you dry snitch, but you just said you beat Mike Sean. You're gonna pay him with that money. You didn't have to throw him under the bus because you on fire, but don't mail the money, man.
I'm mailing it. It is your fault. If you would have came on and been civilized, I gotta argue with Fig on the chat all night. I'm gonna send the young man his money, man. Well done. Shouts out to the Boston Celtics.
Yes,
and
sir.
How about this? We all know they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win. How about that?
I don't know. And I'm okay. Wait.
We all know.
Save that because that's how we go. The last 10 minutes of the show is going to be about how feelings going into this conference finals. But let's give props to a few people. Let's go over the Dallas.
Who the hell is Grant Williams?
That's I'll be sure background singer. Everybody know that. Listen,
yo, he balled out.
Luka though. Let's go to Dallas. Let's talk about Luka. Dominant game 7 effort en route to eliminating. I don't even know if eliminate sounds too cool for this situation. 123-90, the Phoenix Suns get blown out the Mississippi.
They were up as many as 46 points at one point.
Yo, listen, my brother used to always say when cats got when things went really bad, he like, they blew your doors off. They left nothing but screws and hinges. Remember Malik used to always say that to you? So last night, Phoenix got their doors blown off. I was like, yo, first of all, you watching the game, and this is what I didn't understand about that game too. Okay, you get it. Doncic is killing y'all. And they did their best to really try to guard the dude. But I think really where it got ugly and out of hand is, and we've talked about this on, over the shows, y'all stop poking people who are quiet and might not be locked in because they're in their own space. And you think to yourself, this is the time to make fun of them or to rile them up. Don't do that. Not when it comes to professional athletes. The one thing that I realize is when you get these guys upset, there is a different level that they go to that's not like anybody else or anything else. And if you watch Doncic yesterday, he was playing as if somebody slapped his mama or said something bad about, somebody in his family. Like that got real personal, like with everybody. It didn't make a difference who switched. When he hit the jump shot over, no, that was the first game. When hit the jump shot over Giannis, I knew that game was over. When he made that 3, when Tatum made the 3 over Giannis, I knew that game was over. But for Doncic yesterday, when he pushed the little light-skinned dude down with the afro, looked like the mad thing, the little mad troll, when he pushed him down and hit him with the shoulder, I said, "Uh-oh, this is a wrap." Yeah, this is a wrap. Once he did that, this is a wrap. Yep, they're not coming back from this. But he was just in his zone yesterday. And when you see players go into that space, and we've, seen it obviously, numerous times over the course of our lives, that's just a different beast that you're dealing with. And he was there yesterday, and it was nothing. They could have brought in a fire truck and hit him with a hose. They wasn't going to put him out. He
doesn't even play big man position, Fig. Did they wake a sleeping giant?
Yeah, man. I think they did because, look, Luka's been playing professional ball since he was like 16 years old over in Europe, man. And he's used to being on the big stage. So, you hit this dude and you try and play him to the left like he ain't supposed to be here. And you just like woke him up. It reminded me like we were just talking about the Celtics Milwaukee Giannis comes down the court, monstrous dunk on Al Horford, and then he stares him down like, yeah. And Al Horford was like, oh, okay, all right. The whole time he was shaking it like, all right, okay, that's what it is. All right. Then the rest of the game, Al Horford was shooting like Steph Curry from 3. He couldn't miss. He was throwing the ball up like he was throwing it into an ocean. And they ended up winning that game. And I think that man turned the series, man. You wake up Al Horford, he turned back the hands of time, and he did the damn thing. It did the same thing to Luka. You disrespect these players that got, Luka is skilled. He can take you inside, outside, and like the Joker, you can't speed him up. He moves real slow and methodically, and he gonna get his shot off. Very rarely does Luka Doncic get his shot blocked. This kid is he's next level, man.
Doncic the Giant. Rodney,
yeah, man, he's like the future of the NBA. He and a couple of other young players, they the future of the NBA, man. The NBA is in good hands with these young stars, man.
Talk to me, Rodney. You believe that?
No, of course not.
Good Lord.
Where do I start? I didn't really get to chime in on the first series with Boston Celtics because we was all stuck in that little wager. But here we go.
Oh God.
The referees were heavily involved in that game.
Yeah.
Boston, heavily involved. You neutralize the Milwaukee Bucks with the calling in the first half. By the time, because nobody was hot yet. The Boston Celtics wasn't even hot yet. They got like 4 or 5 calls, and all of a sudden they all fucking steaming hot. So how you gonna beat these guys? Call it the leprechaun. I call it the one white ref. He called all the calls by himself. I saw one time the black dude was like, "What you call?" All right, let's go to Phoenix. I'm inclined to agree that they did poke the dog. They did. Somebody who the hell left the gate open?
Yes.
But that don't explain why Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton faded.
Yeah.
Don't explain that. Chris Paul, they might as well be inside his shorts with him. Pause. Devin Booker, they've been calling this guy the next Mamba. He's got Mamba mentality. He's one of Kobe Bryant's proteges. Yeah. He's faded. Kobe is somewhere going, that's not mine. When you look on the court and you see JaVale McGee got the best composure, you got a problem.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When JaVale McGee is like, what we doing, guys? What we want to do, let's get our heads together. You got a problem.
That's a fact.
Everybody was talking. I told you these guys too ugly to win, man. I told y'all.
You did.
These guys ain't cute, man. Mikal Bridges, where was he at? They was singing his praises 2 games ago.
Yeah, listen, you got a good point.
Jay Crowder, he shoot all threes in the world last series. What was he at?
You got a good point. Nobody's arguing your point. You got a good point.
Cameron Johnson got freckles, for God's sake.
You didn't. You should have bet $1 on every freckle.
Did you see Pat Bev? Did you see Pat Bev say Chris Paul is horrible?
Hold on. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get right to that. Before we say that, I just want to make a mention, everybody, in case they didn't know. Chris Paul has already announced that he's not retiring after this blowout, after this playoff season ended in a stunning blowout. He says, "I'm coming back. I'm playing." Fast forward this morning, Patrick Beverly gets on the tube with Stephen A. and the guys, and he starts going ham over the top people in the game, the top 10, and who he thought Chris Paul was or was not. Yeah. And I was on a plane, so I missed it. Right, and you was tuned in. What the hell did Patrick Beverly say, Zach?
First of all, Pat Bev is a hater, and I said it. If you want to dispute it, you go right ahead. Pat Beverly is a hater. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people don't like Chris Paul. This ain't new. A lot of people do not like Chris Paul. But to go on national TV and dispute this man's prowess is disrespectful. I think Pat Bev was wrong, and Chris Paul will see him on the court next year.
Exactly. That's how you handle that. Like, Fig, you say it's not hating. We're using the word too much, and people should have their own opinion. Everything that you don't like don't make you a hater. Kind of agree with that. What you think happened on the Bev thing?
I think Pat Bev told his truth. He gave his opinion, and he said, "Look," he said, "y'all keep saying that Chris Paul is top 5." He said, "I don't see it." He said, "Let me tell you this: when you have a top 5 player, the day before the game, you go to bed at 8 o'clock, you get your rest, you tell mama and the family, don't call me, I'm dialed in, I gotta focus." He said, Chris Paul, you playing Chris Paul in the Phoenix Suns. He's saying you going out to dinner, you relaxing, you have yourself a glass of wine, you get to sleep when you get to sleep, and you show up and you play the game. He said, you playing Steph Curry, you get your behind the bed at 8 o'clock because you know that he can give you buckets and he can do whatever he want to do. He said, nobody in the league is doing that for Chris Paul. He said, so why y'all keep calling this man top 5? And I got to say something else. Last but not least, they started calling Chris Paul a point guard. I ain't hear nobody say that before John Morant. John Morant was calling himself a point guard when he got drafted. And that's the first time I heard somebody say it like that. Not guard, but God. And then they started calling Chris Paul that. I was like, I ain't never heard nobody say that before John Morant. Now everybody talking about point guard. Right. I'm like, I don't get it.
But I mean, here's the thing. Here's a fact. The fact.
Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah. The fact about
what I said, I don't think. All Pat Bev said is, I don't think Chris Paul is top 5 all time. He get a lot of calls and he get a lot of preferential treatment from the referees. That's what Pat Bev said.
Well, that's called graduation. You make a body of work in this game so that you do get some benefits to it, because you done did what Patrick Beverly's doing is he's still a hustler. You know, he's still that guy that dive out of bounds and all that because he's Patrick Beverly. This guy's Chris Paul. If we go back and check his pedigree, he done did all the things you're still trying to do and then some. So where he is now is an accolade and a testament to who he's become over the years, I believe. What's up, Rob?
Pat Beverly like a stray dog on the street that'll bite.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul is like a trained dog.
That's a great analogy.
It's like the trained Doberman. The trained Doberman that sits on the what you call it. But here, to Pat Beverly's dismay, like you said, it's his opinion, Fig, and nobody's gonna refute his opinion. But to say that Chris Paul is not in the top 5, when you look at, again, his body of work, we're not talking about your personal opinion and whatever. The man's body of work is his body of work. Everywhere he's gone, he's managed to do something to help whatever team he's been on become better. That's plain and simple. Pat Bev, we don't give you that same props. We know you as a hustler. We know you as somebody who's a dog, and as you like to say, Fig, who shows up and you want to have that guy on your team. But nobody is rushing out to go, Pat Bev is a dude who I'm, looking to sign. He's an afterthought. He's like PJ Tucker and cats like that. Cats like Chris Paul, you're gonna start a franchise or definitely pick him first when you get out there and you ready to play.
Hold on. Another thing Pat Bev said.
Hey, hold on. Don't be jumping the gate.
Yeah.
Talking about loose dogs. What you doing? That's a great analogy, Rodney, first of all. But that's being very kind, calling him a loose dog on the block. But he's a coyote. He's not even he's a coyote after you bought the house up in the hills. I didn't know we had them. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Big. What was you going to say in the rebuttal?
No, the only thing I was going to say is that, like Amir said, if you got Pat Bev on your team, you happy about that. If you got to see Pat Bev, you like, man, it's gonna be one of them nights.
Yeah,
Pat
but you
Bev
also
into your town and you're a point guard. you know you're going to have your share of a hard night and some hard fouls. He's going to make it tough for you, and that's what Pat Bev does. Now, one thing he did say, he said if you play 17, 18, 19, 20 years,
you're supposed to have numbers.
He said you're supposed to have numbers. You're supposed to. He said, who going to play 19 years and don't have some numbers?
That's a nigga's named Beverly. Here's the difference. If you want to put good next to great, take how many years Pat Bev played. That's a dumb thing to say because it reflects his career. But if you take him and let's say he played 12 seasons, and put that up
number one defender though. He's not knowing that.
No. But see, that's the thing about basketball. We've watched great one-dimensional players our whole life. What makes the greatest players is guys that can do more than one dimension. It's like you don't buy a stick car that just go to fifth gear. You're going to need to downshift, go up hills, and all type of thing. In the NBA, when you think of great players, we think of Kobe because Kobe was great on both sides of the ball. Jordan was great on both sides of the ball.
CP3 ain't no Kobe Bryant.
You know, I'm just saying he can play. He has more than just scoring. Yeah, he got numbers in scoring. He got numbers. He's a high rebounding little ass guard.
All right, hold up.
He get a lot of steals. He get assists. He got numbers in brackets. So if you just take your years against mine, compare our numbers, you'll see the difference in great and good.
Okay, here's the thing. We're not comparing Chris Paul to Pat Beverly because that would be insane. Pat Beverly was not saying, I'm better than Chris Paul. He was saying Chris Paul is not top 5 point guard all time. Now think about it. We all love basketball on here. Somebody please tell me how we going to fit Chris Paul into the top 5 of the greatest NBA players that ever played point guard in this league. It's impossible.
Yeah, but no, it's not impossible because if we go around the country and do a survey, right? And we do top 5 point guards of all time. You got to understand, everybody's lists are going to change and vary according to generations, first of all. Generations alone, you grab that 24-year-old kid, his 5 is going to be different than your 5. Right? So it's all subjective. We're not comparing him to him per se. We're comparing what he's saying. It's ludicrous to say, oh, anybody played 20 years going to have numbers. That's not true. I can show you guys that got 15, 20 years, and they were mediocre as a mug. But it's not about that. It's about the body of work you did. The things you did, you actually accomplished. Every year they didn't go, that's another year. Give him 20 more points.
All right.
So no, he went out there and he actually did that. We can't keep going with this because I got to get to the next thing.
I'm about to give you 3.
But
do we anyway? He's going anyway.
Do we agree? Do we agree that he's a coyote? That's it. All right. So another part of this blowout that we got to address is Ayton. DeAndre Ayton, in the second half of the game, was taken out of the game. And then they try to put him back in. He don't want to go back in. They're trying to make that they still got time to fight, try to come back, and he refuses to go back in. Now, this is some news for your ass. Here's my thing, Amir. Do you now, after this season, risk it and sign him to the big contract?
You know, it's interesting because, you know, I'm trying to figure out actually what happened. The demoralization set in early because, like I said, they wasn't going to come back. I don't give a damn what they did in that game. When you look up at the scoreboard and it says close to 49, damn near 50 points, you're really ready to leave then. You ready to just sprint to the locker room and be like, yo, let's get on this bus and get out of here. But I will say this about Aiden. If we're looking at the rest of his body of work, obviously, for the year, then the man deserves a new contract. There's no two ways about it. Now, everybody's going to say this was a game 7, and this is where it counts, but he is new to that rare air. Yes, last year they did make it to the finals and so forth and so on, but there got to be something else going on that we're not aware of, would be the only reason why you wouldn't return, knowing that you got a contract hanging in the balance. You know what I mean? There have been rumors, you know, if you watch certain players who say things like there are incentives in your contracts and things like that, that if you go above or beyond or whatever, then you lose money based off of incentives that you signed for your contract. So maybe there was something along those lines that happened, and that was a reason. But I do think that based off of what he's been able to do to this point, that man deserves a new contract. He's official tissue. He was doing his thing. They just ran up against a buzzsaw last
can't be your max deal and you do this again in a crucial time because your attitude is whatever. Rodney, you giving a max deal to Ayton, even though he will take himself out of the game or won't go back in the game in a crucial time? Max?
Well, max deals are based on performance. I mean, they're talking about James Harden not getting a max deal, even though he's got a great body of work. So, but here goes. There's some issue on the sideline between him and the coach, and that everything I'm reading points to that. And so, I think they'll figure out how to work it out. This is the tough part. When you're getting your ass beat, everybody becomes the enemy. Like, in the words of the great JB Smooth, everybody's laughing. All you're doing is watching the fight. You end up getting punched in the face. So, who do you turn on? You turn on your brothers sometimes when pressed up against when facing 46-point deficit. So DeAndre probably is a victim of that. So was the coach. So was Booker. So was Chris Paul. They all was affected by it. And you look up, like I said before, and the best guy on the court is horrible.
Yeah, I think it's crazy.
So I think they'll figure it out and they'll hash out their differences and prepare to make another run. A lot of people think that this is the last hurrah for Chris Paul, but I mean they're still a good team. You know, they did take it all across the face and neck area though.
Come on, put some logic in here, man. You're not signing a max deal with him.
You know, the funny thing about it is DeAndre Ayton is very young and a real formidable player, but the brand of basketball that Phoenix plays doesn't accentuate his strength because they shoot a lot of threes. They very rarely go to him unless it's like an alley-oop or something like that. So basically, DeAndre Ayton, if it's not on defense, he's non-existent on that team, man. So for you to be down 40 points and he's sitting on the bench, he said, oh, now y'all want to throw me the ball or now y'all want to go to me. Y'all ain't been going to me all year long. Now we in the game 7 and we down all these points. Now all of a sudden you want to put me in the game? No, keep playing shooting threes like these guys is missing them and stuff like that. Don't put me in now. I understand that mentality. Like Rodney said, when you get in your behind beat, everybody becomes the enemy. And listen, if I'm going to utilize a young athletic center that could be the backup or the stop point in my defense, I'm picking up DeAndre Ayton, man, because he can do that. And if all you got to do is feed the big man a little bit, you feed him early in the game and keep him engaged in the game offensively so he can play strong defense for you. And the Phoenix Suns don't do that. They letting everybody else shoot. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, this little kid, everybody shooting threes, and he's standing there running up and down the court, man. As a big man, I wouldn't feel appreciated in that system. So he gonna get a contract, whether it be from Phoenix Suns or somebody else. Somebody gonna pay that big man to play basketball on their team, and they're gonna pay him max dollars too.
Would you though? The question was,
absolutely. If you think if the Knicks got a chance to get DeAndre Ayton, I wouldn't be like, yeah, put him on.
I like how you said that shit like you own the Knicks just now. That was cool.
I'm saying you said would I, so I'm being the GM now.
Yeah, but you put yourself right there, like you really own the Knicks.
I'll take them.
You ain't leaving in GM airspace. It could have been in the you know what I mean, in the GM cloud.
If Fig GM any team is gonna be the Sacramento Kings.
You lost your rabbit mind. I could have helped Milwaukee play a lot better than they played yesterday if I was coaching.
Hey,
I would have listen.
All right, hold up, because now, like I told you in the last couple of minutes, we want to close out with where we go now. All right, so we just talked about this series, this astronomical blowout, but none of that matters. None of the top five, Chris Paul, none of the Aiden eating the sandwich won't come back in the game. None of the light skinned Devin Booker that had the wrong fade on his hair. None of that matters.
None of it matters.
Now, Dallas taking their talents against Golden State Warriors. Now, I know it's a sore spot for Rodney, but if you had to put money on it,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all.
Who would you go? Where the money going, Rodney? What we betting on? Because I'm gonna follow you.
Hey, you know, I've been hearing everybody screaming in Golden State, but let me tell you something. Them Dallas Mavericks, I'm a believer.
Ooh.
I watched them boys last night. They was not to be messed with. It was 2 or 3 of them. I didn't even know their name. You understand me? These boys came to play some basketball. And how about this? That Golden State Warriors team, y'all try to act like they still young, but they ain't.
Okay.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Ain't no answer for Luka on the Warriors. Period.
Mm.
No answer. It's. I mean, you can't just pick the Warriors. You can't just pick Dallas outright. But if it happened,
I like it though, Rodney. I like what you said. You said you didn't recognize a few of them, but Dallas has always had that kind of team. Where you ever watch Shark Tank? All the sharks on Shark Tank, half of them don't know Mark Cuban. I seen an episode where the ball head dude turns and say, "Hey, player, what's your name again?" So, so it's possible. I mean, what are you thinking? Who's gonna win this series, man?
You know what's so funny? I got a sneaky suspicion that it might be Dallas. Like I said, I'm not going to say that Golden State doesn't stand a chance because they're Golden State and they have been there. But I do like Dallas's chances because I like with the way that they played last night when they're in that kind of energy. And, you know, they got Draymond Green on Golden State. Dallas has that dude with the funny locks thing. I don't know what his name is, but you know, the dude with the weird locks thing. Yeah. So those two kind of cancel each other. Yeah. So I think those two kind of cancel each other. So I think this is going to be a nice dogfight. I can't wait for this one. This is going to be good. This is going to be good.
Where your money going, Fig?
You know I'm picking Golden State. I picked Golden State before the season started. Golden State gonna break their foot off in Dallas, man. Everybody keeps sleeping on them boys. I'm trying to tell you.
You did say that.
I know. Huh?
No.
You did say that.
He didn't.
Hold on.
If they stay healthy, Golden State.
Hold on. I picked them in the beginning before the season, so I'll tell you
You ain't just pick. You put a caveat on it.
No, it is what it is. I picked them. That's it. I'll just tell you this. Golden State is not Phoenix. Steph Curry ain't Devin Booker. Phoenix don't have a Klay Thompson. They don't have a Jordan Poole. Y'all talk about Luka Doncic all y'all want. Can he outscore the 3 top scorers on Golden State? Can he outscore Steph, Klay, and Jordan Poole for 4 games in a row? I don't think so. I got Golden State.
I tell you what.
Golden State play defense too. They
do.
Defense.
They do, but Brunson and them aren't scared. You saw what Brunson was able to do. Steph Curry is not a great defender. Let's start there. He's not a great defender. He's not.
You put
He's
money
not a great
on it?
defender. Hold on. He's not a great defender. So against Brunson, he's gonna have his hands full. To your point about Poole, him and Dwiddle kind of cancel each other, or whatever that kid's name is with the afro, Dwiddle or whatever his name is. Yeah. They kind of cancel each other. Okay. That's what I'm saying. This is a matchup nightmare. You keep acting like what you call it, and to your point or to not your point, the other guy that showed up for the Dallas Mavericks yesterday, it was one other person who showed up for the Dallas Mavericks yesterday. He shot lights out.
Dinwiddie.
So they could shoot too. Not only Dinwiddie, it was okay. So Dinwiddie, Brunson, and Donker and so you acting like they don't got scorers on their team. They got scorers on their team too. So this gonna be a nice little match.
Hold on, listen. Everybody got a point. We're gonna find out because this is it, man. This is the conference finals. And let's fast forward over. Put that back up on the screen, Frank. I like that. Yeah, the tag on the bottom.
I ain't never seen somebody so glad to get $20 in my life.
You know why, Rodney? Because the man be scared. He's scared to bet over $1. So when he got 20 out there, he act like, bro. He act like if
he lost about 9 bets to me too. So that's part of his money too.
All right, so let's move to the other conference, guys. First of all, quick shout out to Grant Williams. That's the guy you never seen before.
Who the hell is Grant Williams?
Yo, and I don't even think he's that good, Rodney. They just left him spotted up every damn possession, and he had an open. Yo, I'm a set shot. Every dude I know can hit a set shot.
40% from three, Talent. He shot over 40% from the 3-point line.
But he pulled a Paxton. He pulled a B.J. Armstrong. He just found a corner. They got the ball over there. And guess what? If you go back to the tape, what it will discuss you is how many people are not running out to the three. They don't care. It's just an open shot. Anyway, shout out to him. 27 points. Victory in the playoffs. The Celtics pulled that off 109-81. Another blowout. The loss of Chris Middleton definitely felt by the Milwaukee Bucks. And here's a good question before we find out who's going to win the next series. The Bucks, man, they could have just re-signed PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
That hurts. That hurt.
And it wasn't a lot of money. I think it was like 2 years, 15 minutes, something like that. But
he's your guy. He's the hard worker.
And he would have came in handy had Middleton went out like he did, and you got PJ. You kind of don't lose too much footing. But shout out to PJ. He made the right move, and look where he at. So he's on a team that, guess what? These tall Celtics, which Brown is my favorite player, let the record show. While y'all all on light skins there, let me tell you something. Pause. While y'all all light skin. Brown, Jaylen Brown, he's the real deal, bro. He's the real damn deal. And I'm going to say this. I thought the only test for Boston was that the Milwaukee Bucks, and it was not just for talent, size. Those boys are tall in Boston. You need to come at them with some taller stuff, and they can clog it up with the size between the Lopez brothers, Greek Freak and his brother, and all these other big dudes, and they still lost. So I don't know, man. I think Boston might be going to the finals, man. What do you think, Rodney?
Boston Celtics. It's not far-fetched. They young. They exciting. They can get it done. But I think they're gonna fade. They're gonna fall apart.
Damn.
Yeah, Miami is scrappy. Miami gonna fight you. And
that's true.
I'll take Miami in a fight all day.
That's true. That's true as hell. Amir, who you got taking this one here? This the East.
This one gonna be another dog fight. I don't know. This one's tough because I think Miami's probably in better condition because the way that they condition themselves for just even the regular season, they're always in better condition than anybody. But there's something to be said for youth, and I think that maybe Tatum and Brown might have finally figured things out. So I really don't know. I can't call this one. I'm not even gonna lie on that.
And Fig, last but not least, man, take us home, man. Take us home with at least be right with the prediction, bro. Come on, take us home.
This one is really a toss-up. The first game will tell me a lot, but Eric Spoelstra is not Budenholzer. His defensive coaching is going to be quite different. You got a bunch of dogs over there. We just talked about PJ Tucker. You know what I mean? You got Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Like they call them on ESPN, them goons from Dade County.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a different kind of fight because they're not gonna pack the paint like Milwaukee Bucks and let these guys shoot open threes. So they gonna have to come with it all game. So I think it's a toss up. I really won't know until the first game, but I'm leaning towards Miami because of the experience. That's the only thing, because they were in the finals before when they was in the bubble. And that's the only reason I'm giving them a slight edge, because talent for talent, Boston is right there, man. Them boys, they arrived on the big stage.
Thank you.
I got $20 more say Boston don't win.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Look, save that for tomorrow. That's a bet that we want to get these bets rolling because games will be starting in a couple of days. Hey, this is wrapping up the box seats. That's my man Fig. That's my man Amir. That's my man Rodney Perry. All y'all shout out your socials real quick. Tell them how to find you.
At Comedian Fig on social media platforms.
Boom.
A-Rock Sealy on IG and Amir Sealy on Facebook and on Twitter.
Boom. At Rodney Perry Live. Look how cocky he is with it. He like this. That's that $20 finger. That's the finger that peeled off the 20. Yeah, right there. Man, let me see what it is. This is the box seats, people. It's only Monday. It only gets worse all week long. We're your favorite comedians, show our favorite audience. Salute and shout out to the principal, Frank Holder. Humor Mill, baby. Download the app.